Thank you, gentlemen. Ambassador Pratt, the Chinese Communist Party takes a whole-of-government and, frankly, whole-of-nation approach to advancing its national security interests. They use every tool they have, diplomacy, state-backed financing, state-owned enterprises, and even military leverage to gain control over critical minerals, especially in Africa, where some of the richest minerals are found. It is in the vital national security interest of the United States to ensure open and competitive access to critical minerals and materials. Our dependence on China for critical minerals is quite simply dangerous. Critical minerals power our defense, technology, space, and energy sectors. To put it bluntly, an F-35 requires about 900 pounds of rare earth elements, and a Virginia-class submarine needs over 9,000 pounds. Yet to meet these needs, we're forced to rely on China. That's completely unacceptable. The CCP has spent years deliberately building control over global critical mineral supply chains. Today, they control major mining operations across the Democratic Republic of Congo and much of the continent. That's not just investment, it's control, it's dominance, and it comes at the expense of our African partners while harming U.S. national interests. Ambassador Pratt, can you talk a bit about how China has been able to outmaneuver the United States in securing critical minerals with a breakdown by region in Africa?
Thank you very much, Senator. I agree completely with the premise for your question. China has engaged in behavior that is corrupt, number one, with a lot of bribes and payoffs to secure agreements that favor their own companies. And they've also taken advantage of unfair labor practices to their own advantage, while also engaging in monopolistic behavior that has manipulated prices to the disadvantage of American companies. We have pursued a strategy of trying to break down this monopolistic behavior, especially in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, by taking advantage of the peace agreement that we negotiated over the last few months and ensuring that there was an economic element to it and that we would be able to deliver for U.S. companies in the DRC, specific to the critical minerals that you mentioned. Across the continent, you were briefed by my colleague Troy Futrell last month about our commercial strategy. We are adding to that our critical minerals strategy to ensure that U.S. companies have the access that they need in West Africa, Central Africa, East and South Africa. And we want to use mechanisms that exist like the DFC to achieve this, but mainly by getting in with the heads of state and ensuring that U.S. companies who have requested our assistance get the assistance that they deserve.
So moving on to you, Mr. Woodard. As I alluded earlier, China's control over critical mineral supply chains has affected our national security posture on a global scale. We all saw this play out during the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a wake-up call to Americans realizing how much our economy is intertwined with China's in ways that many had not seen before. The CCP knows this, and they've spent decades securing control over global critical mineral supply chains as part of their broader civil-military fusion strategy to threaten our security interests. Please briefly describe the scope of China's critical mineral dominance from extraction to refining to downstream production, and how that poses strategic risks to the U.S. economy and military.
Thank you, Senator, and your question really gets at the heart of the matter for sure. So China has spent a lot of time and effort and resources to lock down key supply chains, particularly the processing part of the supply chain in many minerals. So in some cases, graphite, for example, it's nearly 100% of the global supply will come through China at some point to be processed. And people unfamiliar with this may not recognize how close to home some of this can hit. So for example, if you look at cobalt, China has spent a lot of effort overproducing cobalt, and that has damaged mining projects here in the United States. In Idaho, for example, there are some mines in Idaho that can't operate because the price is too low, and that is a clear and direct result of Chinese monopolies in the DRC overproducing, damaging our people here in the United States. And this is another example of why we need to engage in Africa to thwart what China is trying to do and engage there with our embassies and personnel.
So to both of you, what can and should be done about this? How can we take back control of critical minerals throughout the supply chain?
Senator, thank you. We were very eager to take advantage of direct outreach from multiple major U.S. companies right at the beginning of this administration who wanted us to engage in the DRC and help them secure deals with that government. We simultaneously were receiving requests from the head of state of the DRC that they wanted U.S. companies to be involved. We linked this with our diplomatic strategy to pursue peace talks and host them, which these companies also requested that we do. And we've been supporting these American companies to secure deals on the very minerals that you listed in your briefing.
Chairman, I'd emphasize a point that I think Senator Booker made in his opening comments, which is that in many cases, we're pushing on an open door in many of these countries in Africa. I was at the mining in Daba in Cape Town in February, which is Africa's largest mining conference. And to a person, all of the African leaders there I spoke about mentioned two things. One, the importance of what they call local beneficiation, which is trying to secure more of the value locally for them so that these countries can benefit from the geological patrimony that they have. But the second was that they want a choice. They are tired of just having China be the only option for them. So by us engaging with U.S. and like-minded companies in these countries, having our ambassadors be active on this front in African countries, we can make a real difference going forward, especially when we combine that with other tools like the things that DFC and XM are doing, the projects they're supporting as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Ranking Member